Welcome to our pilgrimage of hope. My name is Dominique Heffes-Doon, and it gives me great joy to journey with you during this holy and, dare I say it, hopeful Jubilee year. I am so excited to present to you today. This month is the celebration of the poverty outreach, which coincides with World Day of the Poor, which was celebrated on November 16th. And this year's theme is "You, O Lord, are my hope." And this reminds us that the poor are at the heart of our pastoral activity as Christians. So the theme, as Pope Leo reminds us in his 2025 observance, and he has released a powerful apostolic exhortation to coincide with this month. Dilexi te, I have loved you. The topic of poverty often brings a feeling of hopelessness. As Jesus said, the poor will always be with us. And, you know, it's important that we highlight our outreach work within the Archdiocese and within our communities to inspire and to bring all of those into the fold of God's love. I am joined today by two very powerful and impactful women, Goomtee Ragobar, I apologize, and Miss Rhonda Jones. Women, the ladies, thank you, women of power, women of substance, out there doing poverty outreach, as is the theme for this month. Please, let us begin. Goomtee, tell us about your projects. What exactly are you doing?
Okay, so I represent the Fish and Pond Farmers Association, also the Fish and Pond Rural Women and Youth in Agriculture. Fish and Pond is a rural area. It's off Sandy Grande. We have a lot of poverty in Fishing Pond and environs. So my project really is the youths, single mothers, because a lot of single mothers is in agriculture. And seeing the state now, it's so difficult for these single mothers to raise these children. So the group we had embarked in helping the parents, that seeing about the children with at least their home lesson, which is most important, and making sure that the children, when they come from school, they don't go out and, what happens when you go on the block. So we try our very best to mold these children. And we started, we have no age limit. It's from the toddler straight up until, they start working and, that they have some sustainable little income to come to them.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
Wonderful. And Ms. Rhonda Jones, please tell us about your outreach projects.
Well, first of all, it's a pleasure being here and to share and to meet with, as I said, these two lovely ladies. There's so many things there, but I want to just share this part of it, right? Now, a Hummingbird medalist, silver medalist, 2024, and that came about because of the community work that I've been doing, and, someone recognized, well, yes, this lady is involved. So, in 2009, I lost a brother to the gun.
Wow.
Yeah. He was all involved in a lot of stuff, right? But I was doing some work, but, kind of in the background. And after that, in 2010, I met with some like-minded individuals in the community of La Hoquita, and we decided, we want to change the narrative for the young people around us. Mm-hmm. So we started with the best village, we started with the cricket, the sports, the football, we had rugby, we had things like baseball. We didn't realize that, to get these young people involved and to change their mindset. Wow. But when COVID came in 2019 to 2020, we kind of gravitated to the families now because they needed that kind of help. Remember, people couldn't work. So we started giving out hampers. And through Living Waters, as well as the Syrian and Lebanese Women's Association, we have been able to sustain that up to today, mm-hmm. right? Not so much so that we even started giving out backpacks.
Fantastic,
right?
Yeah.
When we had time for the tablets. We got over 100 tablets donated to give out to the needy children. So we have been working, in that kind of light to ensure that our community is one, what we want to call a safer place, right? We have the homework program that we also do with them. We call it an hour of power. So they do their homework and so on before they actually go to do the sporting stuff. We also introduce athletics to them.
Fantastic.
Right, so much so we had children went on to represent the primary school, because I'm also a primary school teacher, at the national level, just from coming and being part of that program, because we have a lot of hidden talent just waiting to be unearthed.
That's right.
So we have been working and really trying to change, because when people hear hockey sometimes,
Yeah.
I remember I asked a guy, he said, you want us to come, and he was bobbing and weaving like that, for people to be shot. I said, no. We have so much to give.
That's
right? And that is what I am telling you. If I have to do it all over again, I'll do it again.
That is so beautiful. And you've touched on a really critical point that we need to look at as a society, the stigma. The stigma of these communities. Because as you've unearthed, there's so much raw talent waiting to be cultivated. And we as a society need to see what we have on offer, how our youth are beautiful and highly gifted. And again, if just given the right structures, the right support, they can thrive. And I think that's pretty significant to highlight in your work, in your community outreach.
Because even though we're in a community, remember, by extension, we touch the national level as well.
Exactly.
And sometimes, people just feel we're just siloed, but no. We need to know, for them to know that they can come in and assist in whatever way. Sometimes just one little positive something you come in to do for us, and that can change or have a rippling effect for the next 5 years.
Exactly.
And we have seen it.
It actually speaks to what Pope Leo is saying in his latest piece of writing, De Lex Aetate, that we need to bring greater awareness to what people are experiencing. And he says a concrete commitment to the poor must also be accompanied by a change in mentality that can have an impact at the cultural level. In fact, the illusion of happiness derived from a comfortable life pushes many people towards a vision of life centered on the accumulation of wealth and social success at all costs, even at the expense of others. And by taking advantage of unjust social ideals and political economic systems that favor the strongest. Thus, in a world where the poor are increasingly numerous, we paradoxically see the growth of a wealthy elite, living in a bubble of comfort and luxury, almost in another world compared to ordinary people. This means that a culture still persists, sometimes well disguised, that discards others without even realizing it, and tolerates with indifference that millions of people die of hunger or survive in conditions unfit for human beings.
Yes.
So
Wow.
That is, that's
Absolutely.
A lot of,
I mean, we are
Yes,
experiencing it.
yes,
And exactly what you've said is what we are seeing.
Yes.
That we are becoming divided as a society.
Yes, it is.
That some have a lot. And let us be balanced in our approach. I think that's important. If you work hard, and you do right and just, and okay, you should be able to. But as Catholics and as Christians, we need to embrace.
Yes.
of course.
We need to embrace the other and give others opportunity to rise.
And that's why I want to say thank you to the Living Waters community.
Lovely.
Because they helped us, and they're still helping us, they push us. So I mean, every day we have to thank them for the good job that they are doing, because even we would ask, and it's like we would get, they would look forward, because I guess Fishing Pond is one of the community that Living Waters adopt.
Lovely.
As long as they hear Fishing Pond, they go all out to help, and that is so phenomenal. so phenomenal.
And it's the beauty of the Catholic spirit.
Yes,
you
it
know?
is.
And I
Yes,
think
it is.
exactly what you're speaking to is our organizations and our institutions. We know innately that
Yes.
this is the work of Jesus.
Yes, it is.
So thank you, ladies, for
Yes,
being
it
that
is.
embodiment, you know, and
Yes.
whatever support. This is why you're here today. So exactly that, you know, it comes back to the earlier sentiments that even though things might seem hopeless,
Yes.
There is hope.
we have
Yes,
you
hope.
guys.
There
There is hope.
hope. There is hope.
And the work you're doing in
Yes.
communities is really substantial.
But
You
if
know,
I can say
sure.
something in regards to that one, there is hope. I myself went through some of the darkest part of, and again, as I said, Rosemary Scott, she's very dear to my heart. Eh? Yeah, she knows that, so I love her all. I remember coming here and going through a really dark time and sometimes crying, and she was just the anchor.
She is.
You understand? And to have people like that in your life,
Yeah.
I am always grateful. I am saying, you know, I'm forever grateful to this organization as one of them who kept me going. So much so that I went from being a preschool teacher to a primary school teacher to winning a national award. It was not an easy road, but you know what? There were people there and they helped me, they showed me, they guided me, and I was able now to give back. And I believe volunteerism is something, somehow we're losing it, but I keep telling even my children in front of me every day, you have to be kind, have that kindred spirit to give, share love, you know? And I tell people, giving is so, I don't know how to describe it something, but there's so many benefits to just giving.
Yeah.
There's so many benefits, and people, sometimes they're selfish in their ways.
Because they haven't given, they
Yes.
haven't given properly. Because I know exactly what you speak of, and you do too.
Yes.
When you give,
Yes.
you receive so much. It's actually spiritually, psychologically,
You get it back. Yes, you
emotionally
get it back.
incredible. You know, so if it's one message we have for society, it's World Day of the Poor.
Yes.
You know, this is, we as Catholics, this is what we are supposed to do. This is the example of Jesus. Let's give.
Yes.
Let's give.
Even when you give the hampers to these people, oh gosh, I feel it in my heart. They can't finish. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And they would sometimes you pass and they would say, you know, look, she gave. You know, I feel so blessed.
That's right.
I feel so blessed. I say, Lord, thank you to give for giving me that strength to give, give, you know. And again, Living Waters is the head of it. Thank God for them, you know, because without them, what would happen, you know? And most of the times when I give hampers, when we all give hampers, they would say, just remember, tell them thanks, thanks, thanks. We're so grateful, you know.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, again, let's go back to Pope Leo's recent exhortation. Our love and our deepest convictions need to be continually cultivated. And we do so through our concrete actions, remaining in the realm of ideas and theories while failing to give them their expression through frequent and practical acts of charity will eventually cause even our most cherished hopes and aspirations to weaken and fade away. For this very reason, we as Christians must not abandon almsgiving. It can be done in different ways and surely more effectively, but it must continue to be done. It is always better at least to do something rather than do nothing. Whatever form it may take, almsgiving will touch and soften our hardened hearts. It will not solve the problem of world poverty, yet it must still be carried out with intelligence, diligence, and social responsibility. For our part, we need to give alms as a way of reaching out and touching the suffering flesh of the poor. And this is exactly it. This is the time for almsgiving.
Yes.
And you've both beautifully lived and expressed today exactly what Pope Leo is saying, that it touches us.
Yeah.
And if it's one thing I think we can all convey today to our audience is alms giving is more for the individual. Yes, it is for the collective, but it does something to each of us when we do it.
Yes.
It is so beautiful. So thank you, ladies, for living that. So what are you seeing now with your programs? How can we involve wider society and grow the work that you're doing? What do you think?
Well, I think, if people can look at our interview and they want to reach out to us, that's a way.
Yeah.
And I always say, every additional hamper or two that we get, that's 2 more families or so we can now touch.
Wow.
Right? Because I know Living Waters can only give so many. Right? So if other stakeholders are willing to just say, look, when the man come, we can call these groups and say, look, 5 more hampers.
I love what you said. Every hamper is a family.
Yes.
So 5 more families.
Yes.
It humanizes it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's important.
Because even if your hamper is just for a week, 2 weeks, at least that's a meal.
That's the family being fed.
That's it. Like just about 2 days ago, I got a message from a lady in St. Joseph. She does the same kind of community work. And she's asking for like sneakers and so on. Well, I've been working with the Syrian Lebanese, and they have been helping out with that kind of thing.
They're very generous.
Yes, with the footwear for the school children and so on. And, she said the children don't even have food. And when you hear that,
Yeah.
it's really heart-wrenching at times.
It's heartbreaking. Yeah.
Because to know, as any parent, to know when you hear a child is hungry, it's something,
Yeah.
It's something.
Rhonda, don't get me emotional today.
No, I have lived this, I know what it's not to have.
Yeah.
I know what it's to go to school and not have anything to eat.
Yeah.
So that's why I tell people, give it back now, and it's not about money. People always feel like, all right, because I do all of this community work, I remember this lady, she was like, oh, you have to be getting a lot of money. From where? Many times you have to dip in your pocket.
Yeah.
And you give it, and you know what? You give it with love. You give it with love, and so much come back to you. Because you're doing it with a purpose.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? You're doing it with a purpose. And I keep telling people, we have to be out there listening and be our brothers and sisters, keepers.
That
We
is
have to stand
spot
in the
on.
gap. You see, right now in my community, my little drummers, if I could just add that quickly, they're on the spectrum. And I said, everybody with autism and so on. But trust me, on a Thursday, whether I'm up to it or not, they're in front of my door, knocking my door.
Yes, they are.
We don't have a community center to practice, but you know where we go? To the basketball courts. And they're out there and they're drumming with the African drums. Right? Miss, when we're going somewhere again, when we go, I try to give them experiences.
Yeah.
I had an experience going to, just recently, and Standard 5, we was in Standard 5 at the time. We were going to the Harvard Sports Club. We live in Hocketa. There's another house in, I said, Maloney. We're on the bus route. I said, so we go south of the bus route. What is that house? And I said, Miss, I don't know. You know what the child turned and said? Miss, we don't go anywhere unless you take us.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
So sometimes it's not just putting food, we're creating experiences, we're building
And
stories.
they're not getting anything.
So I try as best as I can to give them positive experiences all the time. So I know the love is there. Sometimes I remember this lady came to me and I said, this children always love you. I said, okay, because I love them. And children know,
Yes, they do.
They know when you genuinely love them.
Yes, they
so
do.
True.
They're not mama kind of
true.
They
So
know.
true.
And they need it.
Yes.
This is exactly it. And this is that community and that nurturing and that safe cocoon that you are now providing for them.
Something not getting it at home.
They're
Yeah,
not.
that
Yeah.
is it. Sometimes they are abused at home, so when they go outside and they feel that emotional love, they accept it, because when they reach home, they're not getting it,
Definitely not.
And it's sad. It's a sad, 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 sad day for our country. When you look at, even with the single mothers, why they had to leave, because the same abuse. Now the children seeing this, they're seeing all this, And I mean, it's sad. It's a sad thing for they to grow up like
It's
this.
traumatic.
It is.
You know,
It
and I
is.
think this is important to highlight. We as society are dealing with a lot of our trauma. We know from the work at the church with the Samaritan movement, and that's the trauma division within the Archdiocese currently at play, that we are in a situation where most of our population, if not all, because of our historical
Yes.
post-colonial situation, indentured laborship,
Yes.
slavery, all of these things, we're traumatized.
Yes.
And we come from cycles of pain and violence. So again, this outreach that you are doing, you know, it's sad, but the reality is a lot of people are trapped in poverty.
Yes.
Yes.
And what you're providing is
Yes.
a hand.
Yes.
And like Rhonda said, we don't have a community center in our little village. So I use my home.
Oh, wow.
I use my home. So, but I am happy. I am happy because I get to mingle with the children. I am like, okay, I'm with them, you know?
Yeah.
And you learn from them. You learn a lot from children. You learn a lot from children, you know, to see. And when they're leaving, they would be so thankful. It's always, thanks so very much. When we coming back, you know, they're so happy, you know, and this is what I love about working with the children and the youths. I love that. I really love that. It bring out that feeling, make me remember when I was small, you know. We never had that. We never had that, but now, thank God, we are opening up that way for the children in our community. Even I am going so far as Sanssouci.
Wow.
Sanssouci, Matlat, because the Living Waters community, they had a program way up in Matlat. And Matlat from Port of Spain is very, very far. Very
it's
far.
up the
It's
trek.
one end of Trinidad.
Yes, it
you
is.
know. And Rosemary Scott, and they went up there and they saw the need of the people too. So whenever I would always go up, they would call me and ever so often and go up to Matlat, go up to Sanssouci. It's just that the distance from Fishing Pond to Sanssouci is so far that for me, because I could actually bring down the children and, you know, but what I'm looking at is if I can pick up, well, we have an educational officer. So if we could probably, because they have a community center also, and if she can go and like one day for the month or some, you know, we're looking at that. That's one of the things that we are looking at in our group.
Can I just say, though, both of you, what I'm getting, you're inspiring a quote, and let me read it. No one lights a lamp to be put under a tub. Your light must shine in people's sight, so that seeing your good works, they may give praise to your Father in heaven. And if it's one thing I hope we do today, it's to highlight your really spectacular work and your light. Because I think that's what's going to infect everybody. Because what you've described to me is even in the midst of this chaos and this abuse and this neglect, you have joy.
Yes.
You're providing children with joy.
I
And
do.
dare I say it, hope.
Yes. Yes, it is. You know, we have to do that. We really, really have to do it. So that they, in their minds, they would know, they would grow up.
That's right.
You know, they would grow up to this, you know, that, okay, you know, when we were younger, we had that. So let's grow up with that that mindset.
The role modeling, and exactly that, the right mindset. Role modeling of service, of charity, of community, of love.
Because through my NPO, right, the LH Movers Sports and Cultural Committee, we have programs planned throughout the year for the young people. And we have one, boys can step up and have fun too. We try to put a name to everything, right? And with that program, we bring boys in a space and we get same thing mentors, males, and they come in, they talk to them, they motivate them, and the fun part is afterwards. They do sip and slide and all of that.
That's right.
Right? We have the girls got confidence. Well, for this year, because of circumstances, we have community centers, but they're not. One is closed and the other one decommissioned. So we don't have a space for it. So we had to put it maybe the next year for the girls. But we have one for the boys, as I said, the girls, and they bring them into that space and we mentor them. and give them that positive influence. So much so last year, 2 of the young ladies were given scholarship to go and do radio broadcasting.
Very good. Very
Full
good.
course.
That is
Yes,
amazing.
yes,
Fantastic.
yes.
And you know, if that's not bringing everyone hope, I don't know what is.
Yeah,
Exactly.
This is it.
That is exactly what we
Yes.
need to be seeing and
But
doing.
one of the things I want to say too, you see that smile a child can bring, like that lights up anywhere. You see that smile from a child. Sometimes I would stand up in school and I love to see children when they what do you call it?
Playing
No,
hopscotch?
The tic-tac-toe.
no, when they're hopping down the, what do you call it?
Hopscotch?
No, not hopscotch. They could actually skipping.
Oh, okay.
When they're skipping down the corridor,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
look at them. Even this morning, I had an experience, a little boy on the bus with the maxi with his mother, and he was saying, "Driver, bus, the next light, the next light, the next light, please." So when he was coming out, he stopped and he looked at me, and I was like, and I'm saying, you know, the innocence of children.
That's right.
Some people take that away, boy. How? Why?
Do you know, I actually think that's one of, it's not an explicit sin, but I think it's one of the worst things somebody can do to somebody. Take innocence. And I think we need to do our best to preserve the innocence of our youth for as long as possible.
Yes.
And you're doing that, ladies.
Well, I'm considered a spoiling teacher, and I'll be the spoiling teacher until I retire, sorry. Because I said at least that 1 year that is spent with me, it must be well spent.
Amen.
I give them the best experience that I can give to them.
Lovely.
Amen.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So I want to just close from another with another quote from Pope Leo. No Christian can regard the poor simply as a societal problem. They are part of our family. They are one of us. Nor can our relationship to the poor be reduced to merely another ecclesial activity or function. In the words of the Aparecida document, we are asked to devote time to the poor, to give them loving attention, to listen to them with interest, to stand by them in difficult moments, choosing to spend hours, weeks, or years of our lives with them, and striving to transform their situations, starting from them. We cannot forget that this is what Jesus himself proposed in his actions and by his words. And ladies, I'm glad we're closing with that because that is exactly what you have done. So any last words to our audience about your work, about what you need from them? This is a time to celebrate us as Catholics coming together to help and to humanize. Because this is exactly what we're doing today. We have this idea that the poor are separate and apart. As Pope Leo said, they are our family. So ladies, in closing, what would you like to share? What is the appeal? What would you like to convey?
I would want that, they can really network.
Lovely.
We have some networking going on, so at least we can reach more persons, that might be going through. And then right now with the unemployment rate and all of that, it's even harder.
That's right.
Right? So networking is one of the things. Anybody would like, my number is 323-4048. Reach out, and let's reach out.
Oh, I love that. That's the soundbite. Reach out and let's reach out.
Okay, so like Rhonda, I would like networking also, and you can reach me at my number is 290-5287. You can call me anytime. Because like Rhonda said, we need people to come out and help because a lot of people are unemployed.
That's right.
They are unemployed. And this Christmas, you see people sad. So we, as the Catholics, want to put a smile. We may not do 100%, but whatever little we can do, God bless you all.
You put a smile on my face today, both of you. Thank you so much. And as we do celebrate the Jubilee of Poverty Outreach, I really want to again say thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for reaching children. Thank you for reaching the vulnerable. And it's your turn. It's your turn to reach out, to help, because we are a human family.
Yes,
we are church.
We are church.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to this episode of our Pilgrimage of Hope. Stay hopeful, stay positive. Again, the Catholics are out there doing their work. So thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Lovely.
Thank you.
And thank you all.
If you can raise your eyes to the horizons of renewal and restoration, if you can open your ears to the voice of the Beloved, who calls you to hope and not despair, if you can reach out and forgive, heal and restore in spite of the hurt and darkness, then you will realize a jubilee of hope and restoration for our world. And you would have made a journey of hope. Come join us in this pilgrimage of hope as it becomes a reality in the life of the church. And truly, it will be a jubilee to celebrate.